Hello, good day, everyone. Well, welcome once again to our live stream session. As we always do on every Wednesday, we bring to you Q&A sessions touching on all issues concerning your study abroad staffs. So if you have any questions, if you have any contributions or inputs that you want to make on today's discussion or session, just find a link on all of our platforms or all our social media channels or handles and join us live to make your input or ask your question. Today I'm here with one of my guests and I'll allow him to also introduce himself. So my brother, you're welcome.
Yeah, Delali, thank you very much. Please, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah. Okay. My name is Abubakar Abdushuguru. I hail from the northern part of Ghana, and I've attended KUNST for the past, let's say, 4 years, and then after that, I was a TA for almost 2 years before I journeyed to Canada for my master's degree. And I've recently completed my master's degree, and I'll be transitioning to do my PhD.
I don't know if my guest has a challenge with his network
Some
connection.
experience I have, and then whatever question you may ask. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
okay. So you mentioned that you just finished your master's degree in Canada. You mentioned that you just finished your master's degree in Canada,
I
but
did not get you. Can you come again?
you mentioned that you just finished your master's degree in Canada, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So was it like you paid from your pocket or you got some kind of scholarship or funding? If you can tell us a little bit before some of our members can join us for the question and answer session.
Okay. Thank you very much for the question. Okay. For me, to be frank, I hail from a very poor home, very, very poor home.
Okay.
I was the first in my family to attain, let me say, a bachelor's degree,
Okay.
and then the first to also finish my master's. So even my undergraduate studies, it was very difficult to pay fees. I had to resort to scholarship and all those things before I was able to complete the degree successfully.
Okay.
So I came here on a fully funded scholarship
Is it by your
with
school or by which institution? If you can let us know.
yeah, I came here on a fully funded scholarship on the ticket of Mastercard Foundation scholarship. They
Oh,
paid all
Mastercard
my
Foundation.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
Mastercard Foundation.
So what was the
They paid
package? Was it only the tuition or other things were involved in the package?
okay. It was a comprehensive scholarship. They gave
Okay.
me pretty much everything I needed, including flight ticket, expenses to organize myself, visa processing fee, laptop for my studies, and I would say everything: school fees, graduate fees, stipend, and medical bills. Everything was covered in this scholarship. I
Wow.
would say I leave home, or should I say I leave Ghana with negative. Let me put it that way, because the money they sent for me to use for the pre-processing, I had to use some of them for my personal expenses. So I would say I left home with a negative bank account. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm not going to bother our guest that much because I will be having a special session or edition with him. Actually, he got his US visa approved. He got his Canada visa as well approved. And he had to make a tough decision on which country to go to. I remember, I think that was last year, right?
Yeah.
Got
I
both
think
US visa and Canada
I
visa.
saw you were talking about a lot of this study abroad journey, how you wanted to go to US and you ended up in Canada. And I was in that position, right? So I said, no, this is the best person I have to consult since he was in the position to choose between the two countries. So I reached out to Delali. Delali had to advise me, looking at my situation, long time stay after studies and all those things. So we resort to studying. Delali and I resort to study in Canada. So I chose Canada over the US, and I did not regret it for once. And I'm so very happy because I'm proceeding to do PhD in Canada, which is my dream PhD. And I know that if I had moved to the US, I wouldn't be going for this particular PhD. Yeah.
Okay. So, in the coming weeks, I am going to have a session with my guest. But for today, he's just here to help me with our question and answer session as and when our guests come on board and ask their questions. But watch out for a session with Abdul Subaru, who had his US visa and his Canada visa approved on a fully funded MasterCard Foundation scholarship. He's transitioning to his PhD now at, I think, York University, right?
Yeah.
York
At
University,
one
and
time.
that one too is fully funded. I'll be having a session with him, so just watch out on my pages for that flyer and that date. I think we have some people on standby. Let me bring them on board so that they can ask their questions, and we'll see how best we can help them solve their challenges. So, John, Mr. John, I can see you are backstage. I've added you live, so you can unmute your mic and turn on your camera and proceed to ask your question, please.
Delali, a moment, eh? A
Okay,
moment,
sure,
please.
sure, sure. Okay. So before Mr. John comes in, Mr. John, just alert me anytime you are ready. How has life been for you so far within this 1 year period?
Yeah. To be frank, Delali, that's I would say a very tough question to answer because in terms of studies, because I came here as an international student.
Okay.
How we study in Ghana definitely is different from here. Back in Ghana, at times you even know. I remember one of our best graduating student in my department. We used not to know the guy till the very latter end. You only hear that, oh, this particular person is performing. But when you come here, it's totally different. You can't keep quiet in class. You have
Yeah.
to be very contributive when it comes to academic this. So, and I was the quiet person. Myself, I'm someone who is very reserved. I'm so much into study and then just learn and pass. So I had to navigate the transitioning from being a quiet person to someone who can advocate my ideas and then speak out. That was a very difficult thing to transition because if I was an English student, it would be better. But I someone who is much focused on the engineering aspect, who is good in mathematics, and I don't like English to be frank. But yeah, I was able to get the strength from the support of Mastercard Foundation Scholarship. You have some sections they train you on your how to develop on your communication skill set and all those things. Through that, I was able to adapt, and then yeah, I think I'm one of the best in my class too. So yeah.
Okay. 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 So I think my other guest is also ready. Ruffin Greno. I have brought him on board as well. Ruffin, how are you?
Hello, Sylvester. Good, good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing, Ruffin?
Yeah, I'm good by God's grace. Yourself?
I'm also good. How was your journey to Turkey?
I'm not in Turkey at the moment.
You are not in Turkey at the moment?
No, 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 I'm elsewhere.
Oh, okay. 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 Okay.
Hi, was one day, like was one
Okay.
day.
Okay. Okay.
Anyway, good evening to my cherished listeners. Sorry, uh, there's a noise at the feedback.
Yeah, I think from your end now.
Okay, it's from Abdel's end. He just muted his microphone.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, we have some construction here on UBC campus. UBC is building all the time, so
Oh,
when I'm yeah, when my mic is off, you definitely hear some background noise.
Okay. Okay.
Pardon me.
thank you. All right. So, good evening to my cherished listeners. I'm so much happy to join TDN Space live streaming. Um, he's been my friend for a long time. I respect him so much. He taught me a lot, and I still learn from him. We teach ourselves, and I just want to assure everyone here on the platform listening to us that Sylvester is a very good guy, and all those he has been bringing on board, they've been tried and tested. Though we are not certified immigration consultants, but we do this with experience. And tonight's discussion is going to be very very much educative and all that. So thank you very much, Sylvester, for bringing me on the
Okay.
platform.
Thank you, Ruffin, and I'm very grateful for you making time to join us. Yeah, Mr. John. So you can go ahead and ask your question, or if it's an input that you want to make, my listeners are all ears listening to you, Mr. John.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
So I'm in a pool of two now because I've been trying this school abroad for some time now.
Okay.
The long and short is I've been able to secure a partial funding from Rochester University in the
Okay.
US, but I've also booked for an interview, but the interview date is somewhere next year. My school starts in
Ne-
January.
Next year, which month?
January,
Okay. No,
but
I mean
I
your interview date is next year, January, right?
next year March
Okay,
2026,
next year, March. Okay.
and I need to start school 15th of January.
Okay.
But so I'm also rethinking. I just went to the New Bromwich um, website and started. I log in to do another application because I am losing hope for the US schools. Um, I actually have a background of psychology and sociology, but
Okay.
I have actually changed a career to occupational health and safety, and I've been practicing for 10 years now. I'm
You've been
chartered,
practicing in the field of occupational health and safety for 10 years.
yes, 10 years now.
Okay.
And last year I applied for Memorial University, and I've been put on a waiting list.
Okay.
And I didn't get. But my indication was that I didn't have a very good SOP. That's why I wasn't given the admission.
Okay.
I am tempted to do. Um, I've done the research and I've checked that in Canada, majority of the schools are going for environmental management system. So I've just logged in and then apply. I've started the application for environmental management system. So
In
I've
which
seen that all
school?
of New Province, New Province.
University of New Brunswick.
Yes, yes,
That is their master's program.
yes,
Okay.
yes. I check, and their requirements. They are talking about someone with an environmental background,
Okay.
but I've done management system. I've environmental management system. I've done so many courses, professional courses, and then done quality audit for
Okay.
companies in Ghana.
Okay.
Yes. So my question now is, my fear now, because I don't have a STEM background, purely from the arts background.
Okay.
So I think I'm kind of struggling to get in a school to do my masters because it's been long overdue to do my masters. I've had admission in KUST to do my environmental, but I've decided to just take the opportunity to do this. So I need frank advice on what to do. Especially, I think that it's the STEM background I'm not having, but I need a very good SOP to convince the academic head to give me admission.
Okay. Okay. So Abdul, I don't know if you are clear with this question and if you like to take it or you want me to take that question or you want to refrain. Abana, I'll come to you, so just hold on for us, please. Yeah, Abdul.
Yeah, if I get him very well, he's from a social environment, like the art environment, and he want to transition to something like STEM. and he has gotten admission in the US, but now he's trying to move to Canada or something like that. Yeah, basically, my advice based on what you said would be probably starting from somewhere, like instead of looking at masters or something. If you can, Canada, we do have colleges. If you can come and start from a STEM related program with the colleges, I'm sure they would have some kind of flexibility in terms of your experiences and this. If you can come and start from there, if you don't mind, then after you are done, Canada also have 1 year master's program. If you can get a 1 year PWP program, then you go for that, and then that will make it shorter. Basically, I don't know. I've not had a situation like that, but so if I would be the one, this is what that's how I'll preach it. I'll start from, because it will be very difficult to start from the higher part, not just for yourself, but then also maybe securing admission, because you made mention of you trying to get admission. Yeah. So basically, that would be my input. Yeah, for
Okay,
this
okay.
question.
So
Okay.
I'm also going to come in. I just want to make a post on one of my social media channels so that I can come in, please. So just give me some few minutes. It's a one-man contractor business, so you see that I'm pressing my phone as well. Let me just post this on TikTok so that those of them there can also join us for our session today. Okay,
Uh,
so let me come in, Mr. John. If I heard you clearly, you have a background in psychology, that is the social sciences.
Yes.
Now you want to transition into engineering, that is environmental and occupational hygiene or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
But the good thing is that you have about 10 years experience and you've
Yes.
taken some professional courses in that field as well.
Exactly.
Okay. So coming to study abroad, one thing about choosing programs here is that for some programs, they don't really consider what you've studied for your bachelor's or your undergrad when it comes to studying abroad. The reason is simple. Someone might have studied, let's say, Bachelor of Education in, let's say, psychology, but the person has found himself in the environmental and safety field, as you mentioned. The work experience is there. You've taken some professional courses as well.
Yeah.
So it's not as if you are alien or you are new to the field. Even though you don't have a proud qualification in that area, but you have massive work experience. And fortunately, you've taken some professional courses in that field to also help you learn and develop your knowledge in that area.
Yeah.
So, what I advise you to do is that before you even put in the application, draft a very strong resume or an academic CV.
Okay.
And it should speak more about your experience, your research interest in that field you want to go into, and also you indicate the professional courses that you've taken. Reach out to the departmental head or the program coordinator, either the departmental head or the program coordinator. Shoot a very strong email, introduce yourself. I am this and that. I have a bachelor's in this and that. But then I've been working with this firm as an environmental hygienist or whatever for this number of years. Also, I've taken these professional courses, blah, blah, blah. Upon checking the website of the school, even though I don't have a qualification in that field, I have my doubts if I do qualify for this particular program. So, per my work experience, the professional courses that I've taken, and my interest in this particular field, do I qualify to put in an application?
Okay.
So that should be the first step you should take.
Okay.
Whatever response you are going to get from the program coordinator or the departmental head, that is what is going to now inform your decision on whether to proceed to put in the application or not. Because paying an application fee of $150 or $180 or $100, it might not be money to you, but it is
Yeah.
money to most people back home. So even before you decide to apply for a master's program in Canada in that field, I wouldn't discourage you because at least you have a great work experience in that area and you've taken some professional courses.
Okay.
So look for the program coordinator's email, shoot
Okay.
a very strong email, prepare a strong resume, attach the resume or the academic CV to it, and let's see whatever response you get. Then we know the next line of action.
Okay.
Now,
Sure.
I am in love with my brother's advice, Abdul. He also mentioned that there are colleges in Canada. And some of these colleges, they have what we call graduate diploma programs. They have what we call graduate certificate programs, and they have what we call postgraduate diploma programs. And mostly, these courses that they offer in these colleges, most of them are tailored towards professionalism or somebody who wants to be a professional in that field. So most of these colleges, they don't really consider your prior undergrad education or your prior background. What is important for them is your work experience, is whether you've taken some courses in that area. And when you apply into these graduate certificate programs, postgraduate diploma programs, or we have three graduate certificate, graduate diploma, and postgraduate diploma. All
Yeah.
these three that I've mentioned, they are all similar, but they are all above the undergraduate level, but they are not up to the level of a master's. And mostly they are 8 months program or 1 year program. Sometimes some of them are even up to 14 or 16 months.
Okay.
So if the master's side is not working, I also advise that you look at some of these colleges and go in for some related programs as he has mentioned. Because I know, for example, Conestoga College, they have a graduate certificate, which is an 8 month program in occupational health and safety. Conestoga, when you go to Conestoga College, I think it's in Ontario, they have a graduate certificate in occupational health and safety program. I even have a friend who was a doctor and he completed that program about some few months ago. So you
Okay.
can go in for the colleges program as well if the master's field isn't working for you. So I don't know
Okay.
if you want further clarifications or you want to ask another question.
No, I'm okay. I'm going to take the first suggestion where I've prepared the academic CV already, so I'll have a look at it, fine tune to the environment, and then I'll check on the website and I'll email the coordinator. But
Okay.
unfortunately, I've already paid the academic fee already.
Oh,
But
but I don't think it's an issue. Even though you've begun or you've submitted, still go ahead and
I've,
let them know that look, you've submitted this application, but you're still
yeah,
reaching out to prompt them that you have this and
okay,
that. Do you make the cut?
okay,
Yes.
okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome,
That's it.
Mr. John. So I'm taking you off so that I can break the next
Okay.
person who is on standby. Madam Abena, you are welcome to TDN Q&A session today. You can kindly go ahead and ask your question. Please find a link to our live session on all the platforms. I've posted it on X, I've posted it on YouTube, I've posted it on Facebook, and I've posted it on all the pages I belong to on WhatsApp and Telegram, and also on my TikTok handle, that is the Delali network. So just find the link, click on it, and join us live. Whatever issues you have or whatever questions you have, we will try our best to look at the questions and help you with suggestions so that you can get a solution. Yeah, Madam Abena, over to you. You can go ahead and ask your question.
Hello,
Hello,
good
Madam Abena.
evening.
Can you kindly turn on your camera?
I'm in a car, that's why I have
Okay, no
turned it
problem.
off.
No problem. That's fine. That's fine. You can proceed.
Yes, I texted you earlier today
Okay.
that Sewa told me to test you. That
Okay.
if I'm talking to the, I think I'm talking to the right person. And then
Yeah.
it was about the mock interview session. I was part of it 3 days ago.
Okay.
And then you weren't sure if you have it again yesterday, but I think you couldn't have it. So I wanted to know if there will be one, and you said you'll be having one this evening. So I decided to join. So I thought it would be the same format as 3 days ago on, but I think this is a bit different. But I'm still here.
Okay. Okay. So you don't have a question actually. You are just trying to prompt me on
No,
something. Okay. Okay. I've taken notice of that
yeah,
and we'll deal with that backstage. So don't worry. after I'm done with the
Oh,
live session.
all right. Okay. Then let me get away from here. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
I think there's someone. Okay, Francois. Let me add Francois and take off up now. Francois, you're welcome to TDN's Q&A session. You can unmute yourself, turn on your camera, and go ahead and ask your question or make your contribution or inputs.
Okay, Delali network. So mine is not really more about a question or anything, but I think most of your sessions have been very educative, and I believe that once people sometimes ask their questions, you also will be able to get some insight from some of the questions they ask and the answers that come to it. So I'm just here to also just pick one or two from the sessions and the contributions that others will bring on board. I think this platform introduced me to one of your friends, Basic Technologies, and he has been very helpful to me in that way.
Okay.
So I just trying to benefit from some of the insight that will be coming.
Okay. So even though you don't have a question, let me find out from you. Have you begun your study abroad plans already, or you are already here? If you can clarify.
Yes, so I started working on Canada the last year. It didn't go through as much, but I think looking at some of the advices, I spoke to Basic and some of the other friends. So I tried to do Europe. So this year I'll be doing some Europe, while the ultimate goal is to get to Canada. So I want to actually use my bilingual skill in French and English along the way. So that has been the plan. But since Canada is not yet going, I'll try a Scandinavian country for this year, next 2 year, and just try to transit from there.
Okay, okay, okay. So as Francois has mentioned, the focus shouldn't be on only Canada, on only US. There are other better countries also on the radar. So if Canada and US is not working, channel your energy towards that area. And you can use that point to move from that place to either the US, to either the Germanys, to either the Canadas. So if Canada is not working, if US is not working, please look at other good countries as well. And from there, you can get to some of these final destinations that you want to be in. Okay, so I'm taking you off now, Francois.
All right, sure.
So please just look for the link, click on it, and join us and ask your question if you have any. So, Abdul, I think there's no one backstage currently. So, let me just ask you this simple question, even though I'm going to have a session with you in the coming weeks. How difficult or easy was it to get a MasterCard scholarship or funding, which included your flight ticket, which included your stipend? How easy or difficult was it?
Okay, to be frank, I would say it's a very competitive scholarship. And if you possess the quality, you're going to get it. Let me put it that way. Okay,
So, what kind of qualities are you talking about?
exactly. For me, my community has been one of the major key factor to me getting the scholarship. For
Okay.
the community I come from, there've been a lot of teenage pregnancy, and then early childhood dropout of school. Most of them, they don't proceed to either universities or maybe colleges.
Okay.
So after my high school, and I started my studies at KUST, I decided that no, every vacation I will go back home, teach some of these teenage pregnant women, and then help them go back to school. So I was having an organization that I had mobilized some of the youth who were helping me to be able to, let's say, push this teenage pregnant women to go back to school.
Okay.
And through that, we were able to send about over 70 people within the space of 2 years back to school. And then also another thing I did was during the Green Ghana project, I
Okay.
was uh, I was also opportune to have the opportunity to um, help some of the youth there plant some of the Green Ghana trees. So I was involved in communicating like local medias, trying to educate them in my local dialect, telling them that they need for them to plant trees and about the climate change and all those things. So what happened is when Mastercard Foundation scholarship opportunity came, And then I realized they needed someone with community engagement and leadership experience. And also, when I was in KUST, or should I say, back in my JHS, I was the senior prophet in my JHS. High school, I was the health prophet. And when I moved to KUST too, I was opportune to be the vice president of my department. So I realized that no, this particular scholarship, I possess these qualities. Why don't I give it a shot? So what happened is even I didn't see the scholarship on time. For me, I was sending cold emails to professors, looking for schools in the US, Australia. I wasn't even focused on Canada. So a friend of mine who had a Mastercard scholarship in Central University, the undergraduate level, forwarded to me, Abdel. I see that this particular profile or these qualities they are looking up for matches you very well. Can we give it a try? I'm like, oh, me, I've applied schools, I'm getting professors, I might not even give it a try. Then later on the deadline, I decided to just write some of the essays and put it in. I remember we were the first batch to start the second phase. You know, MasterCard has phases. Normally, they have contract with the schools for 10 years. So we were the second phase, and then we were the first batch. So our application package was not, our application system during our time was not that organized. We applied during using the email system. So basically, I would say it was just the leadership qualities, and then what's the name? The community engagement that made me come this far. And I would say transcript in a way, but not much because people came here with second class upper. Yeah,
On the same Mastercard scholarship.
yeah, with the same benefits.
Okay. So this is not an interview with him. I'm just trying to extract some brief information. As I mentioned, he had his US visa approved, he has his Canada visa approved, and he was faced with a tough decision on which country to go to. In the coming weeks, I am bringing him on board to come and share his massive experience. And tell us about your offer in the US too as well. Because the US too, you had a fully funded offer from I think University of Alabama, if I'm right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you have a little time, I like to explain from a viewpoint so that someone see how my journey was like instead of just
Okay.
cutting it now.
So before you continue, let me just introduce my third guest for tonight. That is Michael Shealtiel. He's also a graduate student at Concordia University, and he's also going to move from Concordia University to, I think, Dalhousie University in Nova Scotia, right?
Wow.
For this fall, he's going for another master's program at Dalhousie University. That is a master's in public administration, if I'm right. So he's also part of our panel for tonight. Abdul, you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. So I graduated in 2022, and right after I graduated, whilst we were waiting for our graduation, a group of us were just looking for schools abroad, and
Okay.
my focus was much on Europe. I was applying to Germany schools, UK schools, Erasmus Mundu, if you know about that scholarship. I
Yeah.
applied to three programs for the Erasmus Mundu program, and I also applied to University of Glasgow in UK.
Okay.
So that particular year, I had admissions, partial scholarship, some 10,000 US dollar scholarship for leadership and all those things. So my focus was like, no, where they are sending me to, even if I should travel, I will suffer in paying the remaining school fees. And coming from someone who is coming from a humble background, I decided that no, I wouldn't go for it. So during that period, a classmate of mine, he was sending cold emails in the US, looking for professors in the US. And then I was there. You know, when you are traveling abroad, you know how Ghana is. You just do it cool lie. So he told us that he was going home. He had some issues. He has to go, not knowing that my friend was trying to travel. So one night I was about to sleep and I saw people saying, "Congratulations, this guy has traveled to the University of I think he went to Ohio University to study his master's in geography." When I saw it, and I'm like, wow, so they called him like because he told me he called him. So the next day, I asked him how he went about it. He told me he sent cold emails and all that. So that particular The next day evening, midnight, I sent 20 cold email without knowing how to send cold email. I never sent a cold email before, but that particular night, when I saw that this particular guy went through that particular system, I sent cold email, 20 cold email. And funny enough, the first cold email I sent was to a professor in Alabama. And
Okay.
that particular professor, he did not reach out to me for the next 1 week. And I continued. I was sending cold emails sent to Oregon State University. The second week, that particular professor reached out to me that, oh, he has seen my profile and when will I be available for an interview? And that was how it started. So we concerted to a particular time, and then we went for an interview, and I performed very well because what he was asking was more of technical questions, and when it comes to the technical aspect, I'm very good. So I was able to explain things, how I did some surveying work, which relate to the kind of work he's doing. So he told me that I should apply to the University of Alabama, and likely on my side it was application free week. They have normally a free application week or so.
Period.
So
Yes,
I
yes.
sent in, yeah, so I sent in my application during that week. And he told me he can't tell me whether I'll get a scholarship or not. But if I come, he wants me to be in the lab always. So when he made that statement, I knew very well that I'm getting it because I've during the same period, like I've listened to space people saying how they had interviews with supervisors and how it went. So I was so much convinced that that particular professor, I'm going to work with him. Then I was still sending cold emails to other professors. Even my current PhD I'm going, that was the same period I sent a cold email to that particular professor.
Okay.
So we had that kind of interview back and forth, and he nominated me for fellowship, and I had a fully funded fellowship,
Okay.
which cover all my expenses. I don't need to do teaching assistantship,
Okay.
and that was how
Okay.
I secured this
So,
scholarship.
so when you quantify all the funding, the Alabama, the Yorks, and the University of British Columbia, that's the Mastercard one. When you quantify all in total through education, how much funding is that in dollars?
Oh, okay. I can't tell roughly in US dollars because some are in Canadian dollars, some are in
Okay.
US
How
dollars.
much was the Mastercard for University of British Columbia?
Mastercard for University of British Columbia, they did not give a specific figure, but if I'm quantifying based on the expenses I've, because normally they will just put we are sponsoring this. So when you come, how I will spend, the amount I will spend will vary on other people.
Okay.
They don't have specific amount for a specific person. You understand? But if I'm taking averagely, we all spend around 90,000 Canadian dollar averagely. Some might go higher, some might go below, depending on your program, the kind of for it. Some even need Apple tablet and laptop. It's just specifically for their program. If you don't have it, you can't do it. So depending on your program, you might spend more or less. But I would say averagely it's around 90,000 for
Okay.
1 year.
Okay.
Yeah.
What of the
And
University
then
of Alabama one?
with the University of Alabama, I had a total funding of over, I think it was over 100,000 US
Free
dollars.
application and funding
Free,
over 100,000.
yeah, free
You didn't pay any,
application.
you didn't pay any application fee.
I didn't even 10 pesos. I didn't pay.
Did you do
Submit.
transcript evaluation?
No,
You didn't evaluate your transcript as well because it wasn't
I didn't,
required.
yes, I
Okay.
didn't evaluate my transcripts. I didn't write English proficiency. I didn't write GRE. Nothing at all. And then I had over 100,000 US dollars for the next 5 years. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. It
Wow.
was a master's and PhD combined. Right?
Combined.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 Then what of the York University currently that you'll be going to this fall in Canada?
Okay, York University, because the masters I did here is a little deviation from the engineering field, even though I apply some aspect of the engineering field, like GIS for forestry.
Uh,
I
okay.
mean, can you hear me? Yeah,
Yeah, I
that
can
was
hear
a
you now.
breakout. I think network.
I can hear you
Um,
now.
So where I'm going to do more of GNSS and space science studies,
Okay.
and that is with my masters I can't transfer some of the courses to that particular place, so I have no option than to start like a combined masters and PhD, right? So
At
it's going
that
to
is
be a
in
period of
York University.
at York University.
Okay.
So it's going to be like 5 years. But currently, I'm enrolling as a combined masters and PhD. The funding is for 5 years, but
Okay.
then I will be having two theses. The first thesis will be in my second semester, my
Okay.
second year, and then the last thesis will be on my fifth year. And the combined funding is around 120,000.
One
CAD.
20,000 Canadian dollars.
Yes. And
Wow.
with the exemption of if you're applying for conference, that is different. If I want to go for conferences and this thing, I'll be getting different scholarship for that from the department. And then also with the exemption of TA-ship, and then I'll be TAing too. And then TA is about depending. They say it varies depending. But then just this fellowship at York and then the research is around 120,000. Yeah, for the next 5 years.
Okay. So before we come back to Abdul and Shealtiel, I think Tony is on standby. He has a question or a contribution to make. So Tony, you are live on the Delali network, TDN. You can kindly unmute yourself, and if you want, you can turn on your camera and go ahead and make your contribution or ask your question. Tony. And please, if you can't join us live, you can just leave your questions in the comment section on either X, on Facebook, or YouTube. We'll display it here, we'll read it out, and our guests will do justice to your questions. Tony, you're welcome to TDN. Mr. Tony, you are welcome to TDN. If you can hear me, you can kindly unmute your mic and go ahead and ask your question. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So you can go
Thank
ahead.
you, sir. Oh, I'm just. I don't have any questions to ask.
I can't hear you.
I said I don't have any question. I just want to watch your show. Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm taking you off backstage so that you can just follow us while the
Okay.
program is ongoing here.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So please, if you have any question, just look for the links on all our platforms and just go ahead, click on it, join us live and ask your questions. McGraw, what do you have for us today? If you can go ahead, or you are waiting as and when our guests come or ask their questions, then you come in. Okay, so there's a question here for us in the comment section. Let me display it from Emmanuel Kwachi. He's saying, please, I have sent cold emails to some program directors to schools in the US, but the response I am receiving are generic. From their frequently asked questions, like we give all admitted students funding and others, without assuring me personally, is it a good response to proceed with my application? So, to my guest, this question is to you. It has been
I will
displayed.
take this. Yeah, thank you very much. I'll take this question and then Delali, I'll be dropping out. I have so I'll take this question and then probably
Sure.
what's the name?
Matt Brown.
Your name again. My boss might add and then probably later. Okay, I would say when I was sending cold email during my time, I pretty much received a number of generic responses too. But then it's like it gives you faith. At least you are getting response. And then one of the scholarships I had in the Australia, like I told you about this, was just a generic response.
Okay.
And then what I would say is, provided you've gotten a response from a professor, don't give up. It's good to apply, but then look for a free application waiver or look for. If you have the funds, I wouldn't discourage you. But if you don't have the funds, look for a way to request for free application. Because I've done that before in the US. I think Penn State University. I had a professor who said, "Oh, apply generic response." I was not having the funding to pay for the lesson, or even if I had, I wanted to use it for other response that were more specific. So I reached out to the coordinator, and then I told the coordinator, "Oh, I had a response from a professor, and I'm willing to apply to the school." And they just
Okay.
asked for the proof of the response. And when I gave them the proof, they waived the application fee for me, and then I went ahead and applied. So my advice would be, if you have a free application, go ahead and apply. And if you have the money and you are willing to try your luck, it's good to apply as well. And then, you never know this journey. Someone will apply and then wait maybe just 2 weeks to them to start what's the name, classes, and you receive funding because maybe someone has rejected, or maybe someone moved from that particular university to another funding which is far better than what you or which fit the person best. So in that case, you might stand the chance of getting that particular scholarship because you applied. So I would say, if you get generic email, even though it's not that good, but go ahead and apply. That's what I can say.
Okay.
And Delali, I will be dropping out. Maybe next week we will continue. Yeah. Thank you
Abdul,
very
I'm very
much.
grateful for passing through. We'll find time and schedule that meeting so that you can share your experience with how you landed these fully funded scholarships from almost 4 or 5 schools all over some of the top countries. So I'll drop you for now and we'll still continue with the session.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, Mark Brown. So the question is still on our screen. What do you have to say? Our listeners are listening to you. I think you are muted. I don't know if okay. Go. No, you try again. Still, still, I don't know what is happening. Okay, so I think he's having a challenge with his connection. He would actually come in and help us answer this particular question. Okay, so he has joined back. Let me just add him on stage. So try again, let's see.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now loud and clear.
So, with this, I
It's off again. I don't know what is happening.
don't know what's happening.
So as I have muted myself, I can see that it's clear now. So you can continue.
Uh, Hear me?
Hello?
Everything is fine. Yeah, fine. Yeah, good fine.
My Brown. So when I'm muted, when you're talking, it's working. But when I'm not muted and you are talking, I don't know what is wrong. So I'll mute myself so that you just go ahead and answer the question for us.
All right.
Sure.
Question. I think the first thing the person should have done was to actually read the frequently asked questions, because in the frequently asked questions, sometimes they answer these questions there. And from his question, he said they fund all admitted students. So you don't necessarily need any personal assurance. You don't need any personal assurance again. Once you get admitted, you get funding. So you don't need any further details again. It's clearly spelled in it. So, like, just read the frequently asked questions. Once you see those things, all admitted. So once you get admission, you get funding. But as to how is it awarded, you have to find out whether you have to apply separately or the admission comes with funding automatically. That's what you need to find out. You don't need any assurance again. All admitted, all. So one, if they're admitting 2 people, all the 2 people will get funding. If they're admitting 10 people, all the 100 people, all the 100 people will get funding. So you don't need any personal assurance. What you need is to find out how is it awarded. Is it that it comes with the admission, or you have to apply separately, or the funding you would have to maybe secure supervisor, or is the funding usually graduate teaching assistant or research assistant or administrative assistant, or is it a partial scholarship? That is what you have to find out, even from the frequently asked questions. Or if it's not there, that is what you have to ask. You don't need any assurance again. All admitted students are funded.
Okay, thank you very much, my brother McBrown, for doing justice to that question. So, I believe our brother Emmanuel Kwachi has gotten a feedback for what to do and what not to do. So, I'm hiding that. There is another question here which I'm going to display. Please, before we go ahead with this particular question, if you can't join us live, just leave your question in any of our social media platforms. I would have a look at it at my end here, and I'll display it so that we can read it out and take inputs so that everybody can learn from. But if you can, just look for our link and join us live. I've shared the link across all platforms. That is on Twitter, that is X, on Facebook, on YouTube, on my various WhatsApp platforms, and on the Telegram platform as well. Don't be shy. Any concerns that you have, join us live or leave your questions or your comments in the comment section, and we'll do justice to it. Before I also continue, I'll be very, very glad if each and every one of us can share the live link, that is the YouTube link, the X link, and the Facebook link to their friends and colleagues so that they can also join and get involved in this educative discussion. Okay, so from Sherry Coco, hey, I like this name, Sherry Coco. Sherry Coco, my Sherry Coco. Okay, she's asking or his accent. Hello, please, good evening. Can you assist me in code emails? In Can you assist me in code emails? That is things I need to include, please. I have forgotten the major details to include. What do you have to say, Mac Brown?
So, basically, hi, Professor ABCD. I am. I hope this email finds you well. I am blah blah blah. You introduce yourself, then uh, you also include what you are doing currently or what you have done that is in line with that particular professor. Okay, and you have to know what the professor is doing so that you can link what you are doing to what the professor is doing. Then you conclude. It's just a simple outline. All right. Then the heading, okay, the title of the email has to be very catchy because some of the title they are not that good. They are not that good. Don't write too long. It shouldn't be too long because if it's too long, they find it hard to read because they receive a lot of emails. So make it uh simple, concise, but on point. Okay. Introduction, the main body, which talks about what you've done or and what you are doing. That links, that connects to the professor's own. Then you tell the professor why you are interested in working with him or her or they. Then you conclude and put your name beneath. Yeah. You can also use Chat GPT or other AI like Meta AI to also give you an outline, but try to make it concise, brief, and on point. Not too much because if it's lengthy, it becomes boring to read. Okay.
As my brother is explaining, I'm also just using ChatGTP to help you draft a sample code email. But whatever it drafts for you, don't go ahead and use it. At least modify it in your own words or use Grammarly to also better it before you submit. So with ChatGTP, for example, you just enter your full name. I am, let's say, Slide Delali with 10 years experience with the Ghana Education Service as a teacher. I have recently come across a professor's profile who is into curriculum and instruction, and I want to work under him or her because our research interests in this and that. So you actually mention that research interest that aligns with that of the professors, actually aligns. Draft aligns. Draft a compelling cold email to catch the professor's attention and also include the strengths that I am bringing on board. Forget about the spelling mistakes. It knows what I want to do. So that I'm bringing on board to support the department. The code email should not be too lengthy. Should not be too lengthy. Let me just correct this. Strength. Lengthy. Should not be too lengthy and should be brief, but touch touch on each key aspect of my qualifications, skills, and the knowledge I am bringing on board to the department. So when you're done, you just enter or give it to ChatGTP. So let's look at what we have here. It says subject, potential research collaboration in curriculum and instruction. Dear Professor, blah, blah, blah. I hope this message finds you well. My name is Delali and I have 10 years of experience with the Ghana Education Service, specializing in teaching curriculum delivery and student-centered instruction. I recently came across your profile and I was struck by how closely your research in curriculum and instruction aligns with my professional practice and academic interests. I am particularly drawn to your work on briefly mention one of their key research areas or project, as it resonates deeply with me, with my experience in designing and adapting curricula to diverse learning needs. Over the years, I have developed strong skills in instructional planning, differentiated learning strategies, and assignment design, which I believe could contribute meaningfully to your research and to the department's broader academic objectives. I am eager to explore opportunities to work under your guidance, whether through collaborative research, graduate studies, or departmental initiative, and to bring my international teaching perspective, proven classroom leadership, and commitment to educational innovation to your team. Thank you for considering my expression of interest. I'll be delighted to provide more details about my background and discuss possible ways to contribute to your current or ongoing work. Warm regards, slide the la. You add your transcript and your academic CV, as well as maybe your phone number or something like that. If you don't want this, you can just tell ChatGTP, I do not want this sample, as a lot of people are using it from various social media channels. I want a unique one in my case. So let's see what it drafts for us again. So this is a revised version again. So subject, exploring research, signage in curriculum and instruction. So if you read this, it has also designed another one for us. My name is Laidela, and for the past decade, I've served as a teacher with the Ghana Education Service, where I've led curriculum implementation, adapted instructional materials to diverse learning contexts, mentored both students and colleagues. In my work, I have consistently bridged theory and practice, aligning educational frameworks with real world classroom needs. When I came across your profile, I recognized an immediate resonance between your research in curriculum and instruction and my own professional journey. Your focus on, then you insert a specific aspect of their work, which you've read about, and you know that there is that connection there reflects challenges and innovations I have encountered firsthand, from designing culturally responsive lesson plans to evaluating curriculum impact in resource limited settings. I believe my field tested expertise, coupled with passion for evidence-based instructional design, could meaningfully support both your ongoing research and the department's objective. I will be honored to explore how my experience might contribute to your project and to learn from your leadership in this field. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to the possibility of a conversation. Kind regards, Slidella. So, as you can see, ChatGPT has given us two different samples. Mark Brown, what do you have to say about using ChatGPT to generate code emails, as we've seen in two different instances? If you can share your thoughts on that.
I think it's a good way to get an idea on what to do, because if you copy it directly, they will know it's ChatGPT because it has a way of writing, it has AI content in it. So like it follows a particular pattern. So I would not say copy everything and insert insert your cases in it, but then paraphrase it, rearrange it in a different way. Okay, so it's better you put in your ideas. Let's say you go to the department website to pick the professor's research interest. You write yours, and you write the professor's own. You add your resume, you can give it to ChatGPT to generate a nice one for you. Then remove some. It will generate a little bit generic but specific to your case. Remove some chaff from it, paraphrase it, and it will be very nice and perfect.
As we can see, that is the power of using AI to help you with your graduate applications. As he mentioned, do not copy exactly what it has generated for you, but it gives you an idea. You can use it as a guide. And there is even an option for you to upload your resume. So when you click on the plus here, it will ask you to add photos and files. So once you click on add photos and files, you can come to your files on your computer or your folder and just select your resume or whatever. Then once you put it in there, it can pick information from it and also use it to draft a very strong, concise, and compelling cold email for you. So, Sherry Coco, I don't know if your question has been answered. If you have a follow up, you can just drop a comment, or if it has been answered too, you can drop a comment and let us know. Okay, so there is another comment here, which there is a question here which is saying, come on, let me just scroll up. Laurentia Ohin is asking, please, is he assured your visa will be approved before the start date of resumption of your school? She's asking in context of Canadian visa. She added extra information at the down part. She said, for Canada visa applications specifically. So she wants to know, please, is he assured that your visa will be approved before the start date of resumption of your school, or they don't take into consideration your school resumption date? For Canada visa application specifically. So, Mark Brown, if you can touch on that.
So visa application is 50-50. Whether it's Canada or not, it's 50-50. Depends on the case you present to the officer. So if the officer evaluates your case and is convinced that you should be granted a visa, they will approve you. It is not 100% assured that you'll be approved. There's no assurance in visa application that you are 100% approved. You can have full funding and still be refused. So there's no assurance, even though uh, your school start date is taken into consideration. However, you can get a decision after the school start date, okay? Because they are processing a lot of application. You are not the only person applying. They are reviewing a lot of applications. So as to whether they reviewed or first come first serve basis. I cannot tell, but then they review application as and when, like they review application based on the criteria they are using. So you can get a decision before your start date or after your start date or even on the start date. The timeline, there's processing timeline, but then it doesn't mean that when the exact time is due, let's say if the processing time is 12 weeks, it doesn't mean that exactly 12 weeks you get a decision. No, you can, it can exceed that or it can be below that. It's just a guide to give you an estimate on how long it takes for them to review an application and give a decision whether the person has been approved or denied. So once again, there is no assurance. You have to present your case. You have to present your case that, hey, so and so officer, I am going to study in ABCD school university in Canada, and I would need this visa. Present your case, like prove prove beyond reasonable doubt that once they give you the visa, you are going to study, and after your studies, you return to your home country, and you will be a law-abiding international student in their country because they are looking for people who can afford, people who are law abiding, and people who follow rules. Okay. So it is not 100% assured. It is left to the visa officer to decide. So it is 50-50, not more than 50. You can be refused or be denied depending on the case you presented to the officer. Yeah.
So let's kindly take note of that. And also, one thing you can simply do is let's look at this option. So just type application study permit processing time Canada, study permit processing time Canada. So let's see what comes. It says what? Check processing time at RCC. So we'll click on that. I have to close that screen and bring the screen. I'm coming. Remove. Then let me just share this. Coming. Just give me a minute and one man production. Yes, sir. So share screen. Please, I'll be very glad if we can share the links. Okay, whatever platform you belong to, kindly share the link and let more people join to ask their question. There are a lot of people who have issues, but some of them don't know that this session is currently ongoing. So kindly share the link to your various platforms to invite others to join as well, so that whatever questions or concerns they have, we can attend to it. Okay, so I just went to Google and I typed steady permit processing time. So once you type that, it will ask you to what? Check processing times. So let's just check the processing time currently. That is if you have applied for a Canada study visa or you are planning to apply. So you come and select the first one, which is what? Temporary residence, because it's into brackets visiting, studying, and working. So you select that. Then they'll ask you which temporary residence application. So you are going to look for study permit from outside Canada. But if you are inside Canada, you choose that. If it's an extension, you choose study permit extension. So study permit from outside Canada. Where are you applying from? So you just look for your country. We are applying from where? Ghana. So we select Ghana. Then it says what? Get present time. You click on that. So it says what? Study permit outside Canada, the processing time is 11 weeks currently. And this processing time is updated weekly. So the last update was August 5th. It's updated weekly. So it's 11 weeks currently. So 11 weeks will be, let me see, I think about 4 months, about close to 4 months, if I'm right, because in
No.
1 month we have about 4 weeks. So 2 months, that'll be 8. So, okay, so that's about, I think, 3 months, close to 3 months. Yeah, close to 3 months. So 11 weeks currently. But let's look at what it says. Don't send a new application. That is if you have already applied. The longer you have been waiting, the closer you are to the front line. We will contact you if you need more information. You don't need anything else. Mark Brown, what can you say about this processing time? Like, what is your view on RCC processing time? See if you can explain this to anyone who is watching us out there.
Okay. So with the processing time, it gives you an estimate on when you should expect a decision, but it doesn't mean that you get a decision exactly on the said timeline. It can be below the 11 weeks or exactly on the 11 weeks, or sometimes even beyond the 11 weeks. But then when it's more than 11 weeks, you have another option of raising a web form. There's something called web form to inform IRCC that blah blah blah. Hey, my school start date is 1, 2, 3, and according to the processing time on your on the website, it is 11 weeks. I have exceeded that, and I wish if I could, my application could be processed. Yes, it is not when you raise a web form, it's not guaranteed that you get a decision from them. But then it's another way of, I mean, notifying them that you are still in the pipeline waiting for them. So the 11 weeks is an estimate that they are giving to you that you might receive a decision either below that, on that, or beyond that.
Okay, Mark Brown. Okay, thank you very much for that. So, is it possible that my application could even take, let's say, 1 year for a study permit, even though they have 11 weeks processing time, and we know the processing time is even updated weekly? Is it possible for my application for like a study permit or a visitor's visa to take, let's say, 1 year or 1.5 year? Is that possible?
Yes, can take a year because I know a friend whose study permit application took 7 months before the person had a decision, and it was unfortunate that this person was denied. So it can take more than that, and the longer it takes doesn't mean that you'll be approved. Visitors visa, some of them just even took over a year. We know a friend whose own took 11 months. So it can take longer than the processing time that was given. So with a timeline, it's just a guide. But then when that timeline, like that 11 weeks is due, you can raise a web form to inform them. Like I said before, you can raise a web form to notify them. It doesn't mean that you receive a decision. It can take longer than that. That is why we encourage people to submit an application early so that you can get a decision and go to your school within the time that was given to you. So it is best if you submit your application early so that you can wait, have enough time, prepare, and travel. When you wait, you wait for, let's say, a month or two before you apply. Usually there's likelihood that you might not get a decision before your school start date. So it is best to apply early, apply very early. But sometimes I know some schools delay in the admission decision. That one is beyond your control. So when if a school delays in decision, what you can do is to prepare your documents down, prepare everything down. Once you get admission and everything is set, just apply. You don't have to wait and be going up and down. Use about a month to organize all your documents to submit. Once you know the school's decision takes longer time, prepare all your document down. Once admission comes, within 2 to 3 days, you submit your application.
Okay, thank you very much, my good brother, once again for that insightful submission. So, if you are watching us, we are live now on the TDN network, that is the Delali network, and we are just taking question and answers. We are also taking contributions. So, I've just shared the links where you can join us live again. I've shared it on Facebook, I've shared it on YouTube, I've shared it on X as well, and the various platforms once again. Please, if you have any question, don't feel shy. Just use the link, click on it, join us. I'll bring you on stage so that you can go ahead and ask your questions. because if you don't sell your problem or your sickness, it will be very tough for you to get how do we call it, the medication or the solution. We are not saying we are all round experts, but at least with the number of years of experience we have in this, we'll be able to give you suggestions which will be helpful in your case. And also, if you are watching us now and you've not shared the link, please try your best and share the link and invite others to join us, because we have over 50 people watching us now and we want to increase the numbers into the hundreds. So kindly do that for us. Okay, my Brown, as application periods have opened currently, because there are schools that have opened for next year summer and next year fall. There are also some schools that are yet to open their admissions, because they will be opening somewhere in September. What are some of the things prospective applicants should look at so that they'll be able to submit a competitive application and they'll also be able to gain the funding or the assistantships without just throwing the application fees away? So if you can touch on some key things prospective applicants should look at before submitting their school applications.
One thing I encourage people is to always apply early. Applying early saves you much time, and starting.
Okay, so just a quick question concerning what you said. So does it mean once I apply early, it is automatic for me to get admission? It is automatic for me to get funding? Because if you say I should apply early and I rush and go and apply early, does it mean I'm going to get admission and funding? If you can clarify that portion.
That you even get admission even early. Applying early, saves you much time. Okay, because when I say apply early, I don't mean that rush and submit. I mean that once the application cycle opens, try your possible best to submit your application within the time frame. Okay, so as you are waiting for them to open for fall 2026, you can organize your documents. So if you're applying for bachelor's degree, you need your WASI or high school certificate and transcript. So prepare all those down, maybe your recommendations, talk to them, let them be set that I'm going to apply to, let's say, 5 schools, 6 schools, 3 schools, 2 schools. Let them know, inform them ahead of time. So in that case, when the application cycle opens, you have most of your documents ready. If you're going for master's and PhD, obviously you need a recommendation, you need to write your statement of purpose or personal statement or statement of research interest or even writing sample. You need all those. You might need those things. So prepare all those things down. Like start right now. Even before even start those things, you need to do research. Okay. So once you are waiting for them to open admission, you have to be doing research because the school maybe you are eyeing, there might be another school that might give you a better offer, or the school maybe you are.
Okay, so I'm not cutting you. Just a follow-up question so that the conversation can be well understood by our followers and our listeners. How do I go about researching? How do I find these schools that fit into my profile? How do I know that this particular school or that particular school, once I put in a good application, I can get funding? So how do I go about the research process in getting these schools?
Now research has been a bit easier for us because of.
Can you, I don't know if your volume is down, if you can increase it a little bit so that they can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. So um because of advancement in AI, there's doing research is very easy nowadays. So you can employ AI, like even your WhatsApp. Just type Meta AI. Meta AI will come, say hi Meta. Um, I'm so and so. I want to do, let's say, my master's in public health. Can you give me some schools with funding in the US or in Canada or in UK? Meta AI will give you a list of schools. Pick them one by one. Visit their website. Go to the department. Search for their frequently asked questions. Read the admission requirements. Whether you meet them, whether you meet the minimum requirement for admission or not. Because if you don't meet, likely check for funding. So AI will make the work easier for you. At first, we used to go to Google, choose a particular state. Let's say I want schools in Idaho in the US. I type in universities in Idaho. Google will give me a list of all the universities. Then I'll go to their website one by one. Or even sometimes you don't know the name of the state. So you have to Google search, okay, states in the US. Then to give you all the states, you pick them one by one. Now AI will make it easy for you. Just your WhatsApp, go to WhatsApp, type Meta AI. Meta AI will open, go to your chat with Meta AI. Just write um hi, I am ABCD. I want to apply for master's or PhD in epidemiology. Can you give me schools in that offers PhD in epidemiology with funding in the US? Meta AI will list all the schools. You can actually tell Meta AI to give you more. Meta AI will give you more. I don't usually recommend ChatGPT for listing of schools because uh, ChatGPT usually don't update schools most often. So I will entreat you to use Meta AI, or you can use what's the name? You can use Perplexity, or you can even use Gemini. It will give you schools with schools that has funding.
Okay, so I'm not cutting you my ground. So talking about perplexity, I just want to display perplexity so that you can maybe guide us through on what to do or how to use the perplexity as well to search for the schools. So you can continue my ground.
Yeah. So once you do that, it will give you some schools. Do well to verify whether they actually have funding, because sometimes the school has funding, but not for your program, or the funding is limited or competitive. So once it lists the schools for you, go to the school's website, go to the actual department. So if you are looking for, let's say, epidemiology, or you are looking for mechanical engineering, go to the department website, read everything, go to frequently asked questions. The question you might have, they might have answered it in the frequently asked questions session. So read everything. Don't don't think, oh, this is not needed or this is nothing. Then later on you have question, you go and email the programs coordinator, and you'll be like, uh, they will send you a link to the website that gives you your answer. It shows that you don't read. And these people, they read everything. You would do well to read everything on the website. Okay, so that is the first thing you have to do. Research into schools. Maybe you want to go to Duke University. Okay, there may be another school. Let's say University of California, Berkeley might have a same program with better funding opportunity for you. So do not dwell on one school or two schools or three schools. Like, look for five schools, six schools, and prepare your documents down. Okay, prepare a document down, start organize your recommendation letters, like talk to your recommended, because I know one thing that is difficult for us is getting professors to write a recommendation on our behalf. So start talking to them as soon as possible. Let them know you are applying to five schools. You are applying to, let's say, five schools, four schools, three schools, or six schools. Tell them, let them know ahead before you go and submit an application. Because if you don't tell them and you submit your application, write their name, they might delay you. So inform them ahead before you start the entire application. And the reason why I'm also saying that start early is because of all these things. Because some schools will not allow you to submit your recommendation after the deadline. Okay, and when you organize all your documents and apply on time, usually in the priority deadline, you are considered for funding. Okay, so the schools have priority deadline, and they have general deadlines. Okay, so their priority deadlines are usually early. Some schools are as early as 1st November, some are 1st December, 15th December, depending on the school. You would have to check all those things, and those things you find them on the department website, because the graduate school or the school itself has the general deadline, but the department also has specific deadlines. So do well to check those things before you apply. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Mark Brown. So
Mm.
I don't know what actually is happening. Anytime I turn on my mic and you're talking, I can't hear you. So I'm going to mute my mic now. I've opened Perplexity AI. I've shared my screen for our followers and our listeners, including our viewers. So you'll be talking how I can go about it. I'll type it in Perplexity so that they can learn about how to use Perplexity as well to search for schools. So what I just did was I just went to Google Chrome and I typed Perplexity AI, and it came. You can register, create an account, and log in, or you can just even use it without creating an account. So, Mark Brown, we can proceed on the school search.
So you just type, um, my name is Delali, and I am interested in applying for masters in, let's say, disability studies, uh, in the US. Can you give me all the schools that offer uh, master's program in this field with funding or with graduate assistantship? Yeah, so you can just send. Yeah, so
So,
send it.
Mark Brown, I just typed, let me read it out before I issue the command if it's okay, or we have to do some changes. My name is Delali. I'm interested in applying for a master's in disability studies in the USA. Kindly give me all schools that offer this program and they have graduate assistantships available. Also, add the department's application open period, priority deadline, normal deadline, link to each of the departments or programs website. Organize this data in an understandable form for me and add the requirements for each if possible. Have I missed out something, or you still want me to go ahead and make some additions?
Just mean, so everything is fine. Good, good. So you see, so Perplexity has listed some of the.
So, McBrown, you can start talking about it. I'll be scrolling for you. You can start talking about them.
Okay, so you see, Perplexity has listed all the schools, their requirements, deadline, priority deadlines, and regular deadlines, whether they have graduate assistantship or not. So the first school is City University of New York, University of Buffalo, all the it will give you about it will give you all the schools that it knows. But if it's not enough, you can actually tell Perplexity to give you need more schools. Okay, so Mississippi State University, Teachers College, that's Columbia University. So like a lot of schools, it will give you a lot of schools that has funding for such program. So it's like tell Perplexity to give you more schools if there are more schools in the US that offer same program, yeah, with assistantship. See, Temple University, Western Washington University, University of Illinois, Chicago. So it give you so many schools and similar ones. And even some, it will give you some schools that you even qualify for a PhD program. So this is a simple way to narrow your research. So what you have to do is now you will copy everything, paste it in your Word document, go to each school's website one by one to verify whether it is true. Do not go ahead and just apply. Verify whether the information Perplexity gave to you is actually true before you go ahead to apply, because you need to verify it. Sometimes it's overly general. So do well to go to the school's website, visit the department, read frequently asked questions, see whether it actually aligns with your situation. Okay. And even you can even go ahead and tell Perplexity that that's your GPA or your CGPA is this, let's say 3.0. You have been working this number of years. So can it narrow down the schools that you fit their requirements, and it will give you the list of schools that you might fit their requirement, the minimum admission requirement. Go to the school's website and read again.
Okay, thank you very much, Mark Brown. So we have just demonstrated how to make your school search very, very easy without putting in much stress. So any of the AI tools you have available, not only Perplexity, ChatGPT is there, DeepSeek, what have you. Once any of them you find reasonable enough to use, you can just go ahead to use. Please still remember to share the link and invite others to join. We are still on. Okay, so please look for the link and join us live and ask your question if there is any. I think Mr. John is waiting backstage, so let me bring him on board. Maybe he has a question to ask.
No, no,
Mr.
I've
John.
been here already. I've been here
Okay,
already.
okay. So I'm taking you off. Okay. So there's a question here from Emmanuel Kwache. He's asking, on administrative processing where the officer has to go and access the social media interaction of the applicant, do they access a thorough post by the applicant, and can they retrieve a deleted post? Mark Brown, what do you have to say?
This is this is a dicey question and a really hard one. I wouldn't say they I wouldn't say they will not be able to, but because of privacy policy issues, they might not go to that extent because that post has been deleted already. Okay. So it is better for you not to keep such posts, like posts that are offensive or that pose threat to their country. Okay. Because you don't want to be a threat to someone's country. Because ask yourself, do you want someone from another country to be a threat to your country? So if you don't want that, why do you want to also be such a person to another person's country? Okay, so it is better for you to not keep such posts, but then I don't think they will go to that extent of retrieving um deleted posts on Facebook. Okay, yeah, I cannot tell whether they will access, but because of privacy policy issues, so they might not go to that extent. But know that anything you post on the internet, once deleted, the owner of that particular software can retrieve it.
Okay, thank you very much, Mark Brown. So, as you heard, just to play it safe, just ensure you don't put out anything disturbing or um, anything disturbing or incriminating, which is going to affect your profile. Because just imagine you get a fully funded scholarship, that they say we want to go and check your Facebook post or your social media post before we finally make the approval decision. Then, because of a particular post or a hate message, so they say, "Oh, we are denying you. You can't get it anymore." Like it's very painful. So let us all be very, very circumspective in whatever we put out there on social media. It's very, very important. Okay, so we've been able to discuss the school search process, how to identify schools, and you also made mention of some documents which applicants will be requiring for the school application process. With the undergraduate, it's mostly straightforward, but the main stress is the master's and the PhD applications. So let's talk about the statement of purpose. Please, we are still taking questions because there is none currently. That is why I'm asking him this question. So if you have any, just leave it in the comment section or use the link to join us live, and I'll give you the opportunity to ask your question. So any of them, either you leave your question in the comment section for us, or you use the link to join us live, and I'll ask him the question. So let's take note of that. So let's talk about the statement of purpose. How do I draft a convincing statement of purpose? A very strong one, which will not lead me into getting a denial, but will lead me into getting an admission into my dream program. So I want to touch on the statement of purpose. What are the things we should consider? What are the pointers we should look at? And how, in general, can we write a winning or a compelling statement of purpose or personal statement or letter of intent? If you can touch on that.
With the statement of purpose, it sometimes varies because some schools will give you some specific questions they want you to address. Okay, so before you even start and you have a specific school you want to apply to, go to the school website, check whether they have specific questions they want you to address in the statement of purpose. If they have, make sure that you answer all those questions in your statement of purpose or statement of intent. However, if they don't have, you can write your own specific one, but you would have to answer this question: what are your goals? Because the statement of purpose, they want to know you more aside your resume. What are your goals? Because your resume outlines your experience, your educational background, and all, what have you. But what are your goals in life? What are you looking to achieve in the next 2 years, the next 3 years, the next 5, in the next 10 years? Your short-term goals, your long-term goals. What do you want to achieve, or where do you want to get to? They also want to know, how are you fit for the program, because maybe you might be interested in a career in, let's say, non-profit management, but then your background does not fit into the program. So they want to know whether you will do well on the program. So how do you meet the program's requirement? What are you going to bring on board? How are you going to benefit from the department? How is the department also going to benefit from you? Okay, so you need to address these things in the statement of purpose. And you can even talk about your work experience. Do not outline everything in your CV, because your CV talks about your duties and all that. But then, okay, in your role as, let's say, assistant manager, what achievements have you made in that particular role or with that organization? So you can briefly talk about that and link it to the program. Okay, why are you choosing the school? All those things have to be included in the statement of purpose or statement of intent, and it has to follow a logical order, not just that, okay, I'm interested in applying for um, masters in public administration, then then you jump to in the long term, I want to do this and that. Then you come back to, I have a bachelor's degree in so and so. Like, it does not follow a sequential order, or it like the narrative does not have a specific how do I even say it? It doesn't flow properly. Okay, so maybe you tell in the introduction, you write something about why you are interested in applying to the program you're applying to. Then you move to education, briefly talk about educational background, what you have been doing and how you fit into the program. What are your long-term and short-term goals? Why did you choose that particular school? What are you going to bring on board? How would the department benefit from it, and how would you also benefit from the department? Okay, what makes you a best candidate? Another one thing that could help you, if you've not written a statement of purpose or statement of intent before, you can actually go to Google and type, let's say, sample of statement of purpose for masters in public administration. It will give you sample of what other people have written. Do not copy. I repeat, do not copy literally. Look at it, use it as a guide. Then go to any of the AI, type um, can you generate a compelling statement of purpose for masters in public administration at Dalhousie University? AI would generate a nice one for you. Look at it, use that one and the one you saw on Google to write your story. Because if, let's say, you copy everything dito, they will know there's plagiarism and AI checkers all around that they can use to detect whether your essay was plagiarized or you used AI to write it. Okay, so sit down, write your own words. I know you make grammar mistakes. That's why there's Grammarly there to polish your grammar. You can also use same AI to polish the grammar. But then, if it polishes the grammar, make sure that you read through so that it doesn't add certain words that uh, AI words. I mean, words that AI usually use, because the essay might become AI content because you actually dump your whole essay into, let's say, chat GPT for it to uh rephrase it for you. Okay, so you simply use Grammarly to correct all the grammar mistakes. Okay, and again, do check the department's website whether they have specific questions they want you to address. So let's take for example, when you go to Dalhousie University, Masters in Public Administration, they have specific questions.
It's even on the screen, so you can touch on it. I've displayed it on the screen.
They ask you, okay, with your statement of purpose, they want you to write 2 to 3 pages, double space. So make sure you adhere to this requirement: 2 to 3 pages. Do not exceed more than 2 to 3 pages. Okay, your career goals and how the public administration will help you achieve them. What are your strengths you bring to the MPA program and the profession? What it means to be an ethical public servant. You see, this particular question is not in the outline of a general statement of purpose, but then they want you to address. So you make sure that you answer that question, what it means to you to be an ethical public servant. So in your own words or what you believe in, write it there, include it in your essay. Then the last one says any gap or deficiencies in your academic record. Let's say maybe you have maybe in one particular semester you had low GPA. You can explain or write why you had low GPA, but then in subsequent semesters you are able to improve. This shows that in difficult times, or even if you're in the program in a particular semester you do not perform well, you can still you can still get back on your toes and improve. Okay, so you can address all those things, or whether you have, or let's say your GPA is even below the minimum requirement. That is a good place to write why you have a low GPA, but then you are fit for the program. So make sure you address all these things in your statement of purpose. Another alternative could be that you copy all what the department is requiring. Copy that, give it to any of the AI for them to generate a sample for you. So with that, it will give you an idea on what to write. Use that as a sample to rewrite yours. Do not copy, because if you read what AI will generate for you, it is so sweet that you are likely to copy everything in it. Don't be blinded, because they are AI detectors, and sometimes even reading just one or two lines, you'll be able to detect that this particular essay is written by AI. Okay, and when you are writing, make sure it is a little bit personal to your situation. Link it to your situation. Okay, link it to your situation. Show that you are actually fit for the program. Why do you need a master's in public administration? Why do you need PhD in public policy? Maybe you have been doing, or you have been in government for some time now, and you've seen some policies that are not, I mean, that is not the best, or like in quotes, maybe in your view, you see that this policy does not fit for this particular area. So maybe you want to do this. Say something like a problem, identify a problem, because as a master's or PhD student, they want you to be able to solve a particular problem. So you can go in the angle of identify a problem, write something about it, then tell us what you want to do. Even in your introduction, in your introduction, you can start with a personal anecdote, a hook, something, a personal experience that you had that drawn I mean that made you get interested in the program you want to apply to. Okay, let's say your mother had diabetes. Your mother had diabetes, and eventually she passed away because of maybe lack of um what have you, like, I mean, your mother had a diabetes, or maybe one of your parents or your sibling had diabetes. So let's say you want to go and do masters in biology to focus on maybe type 2 diabetes. Okay, you want to research into type 2 diabetes because of maybe your past experience. That is uh, a personal experience, so it is a hook. So if anyone, or if an admission committee takes your statement of purpose and read the first line, be like, oh yeah, 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 like, you'll be interested in reading more because of the first paragraph. It was very catchy. So make sure your first paragraph is very catchy, because once the first paragraph or the first two lines are boring, you will not be interested. Like, you will not be interested in reading. Like sometimes you pick a storybook and the first page is so boring that when you start reading, you are feeling sleepy. But then you find a particular storybook and the first page is so interesting that you want to actually read more. You have become Oliver Twist. You want to read more, 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 and more. So let your first line be very catchy, very convincing, and kind of a personal hook. I use personal hook because it is from your own experience. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, my brother, my brown Shealtiel, for that impressive explanation on how to draft a letter of intent, a statement of purpose, or a personal statement. And I hope our over 50 listeners and viewers who want to also begin their process will also touch on it. So if you can look at my screen, I have shared information for Master of Public Administration at Dalhousie University, and I am just giving you an insight into how it looks like. So first of all, you just go to Google and type Dalhousie University. You click on it, you go to graduate school, and you come to the programs. So their Master of Public Administration It's a full-time program, and let's look at it. The deadline for international students, as you can see, is January 31st. So if you are planning to apply to this school for your master's in public administration, ensure you put in your application before January 31st. And the program has only one intake, as you can see. That is each year in September only. That is only fall. So they don't have intake for spring, they don't have for summer. Now, step one, complete the online application. So you create an account and fill everything and pay your non-refundable fee. Then step two, submitting your documents. After you pay, you will now be able to log in again and then upload the necessary documents in PDF format. So let's look at the transcript. The transcript, they're asking it that it should be a 3.0 on a 4.3 scale. A 3.0, that is in the last 2 years or 60 credit of study. It doesn't mean the whole of the 4 years that you've done. In your last 60 credits or the last 2 years, calculate your GPA and see if you fall within the minimum of 3.0. If you fall within that minimum of 3.0 or above, then you can go ahead and put in your application if you are interested in this program. Also, the transcript details have been stated here, so you just look at it. And they actually accept an official for admission decision purposes. When you are admitted, then you can go ahead and submit the official one as well. And if you look, they say what? Official transcript submission. PDFs can be sent by email directly from the issuing institutions. These email transcripts are sent to dalmpaa@dal.ca. So in case you want to send your official transcript to the MPA department, this is the official email. Then reference letters, that is the recommendation letters. They are the same as reference letters. 2 academic letters of reference are required as part of application package. Professional references can be submitted according to the following schedule. 1. For applicants who completed the undergraduate or related degree 3 to 5 years ago, submit 1 academic reference and 1 relevant professional reference. 2 academic references. For applicants who completed the undergraduate degree more than 5 years ago, 2 relevant professional references, or 1 academic reference and 1 relevant professional reference, or 2 academic references. So the reference letters or recommendation letters too, they're giving instructions. If you have finished school for this number of years, what to do, what not to do. So you read that carefully. That is why it's very important to read every instruction on the department website. Then your resume, submit the most recent version. Statement of intent, McGraw has explained already. They say it should be what? 2 to 3 page double space essay, and you should discuss the following. 1, your career goals and how the MPA will help you achieve them. 2, what strengths you bring to the MPA program and to the profession. 3, what it means to be an ethical public servant. 4, any gaps or deficiencies in your academic record and other factors you would wish to have considered. Then the language department. English is the language of study at Dalhousie. Therefore, all applicants whose first language is not English must demonstrate their capacity to pursue a graduate level program in English before admission. For a complete list of English language tests accepted by the faculty, please visit this. Now, let's look at the down here. They say note, the language competency test may be waived if the applicant has completed a degree that meets both of the following requirements. 1, the degree is from a recognized university where language of instruction is English. 2, the university or campus location where the degree was obtained is in a country where English is an official language. So if you have done your undergraduate coursework in English language in any of our private or public universities or colleges back home and you qualify, you can go ahead to apply without the need to submit an English proficiency letter or taking an English proficiency test. It's actually waived because 1, your degree is from a country where the language of instruction was English. So let's take note of that. If we come back, we can have a look at some of the programs as well that Dalhousie University offers. So if you're interested in any of them, that's a graduate school. You just scroll and check We have public administration, rehabilitation research, resource and environmental management, social anthropology, social work, sociology, speech language pathology, statistics for masters and PhD as well. And there is funding available for that program. Resource and environmental management, rehabilitation research, public administration management, psychology and neuroscience, political science PhD masters, planning studies, physiotherapy combined with rehabilitation research, physiology and biophysics, masters and PhD, physics itself, physician assistant studies, pharmacy, philosophy, pharmacology, pathology, oceanography, occupational science, nursing, musicology, mineral resource engineering, microbiology and immunology, mental health and addictions. That's a graduate certificate. Medical research, medicine, medical physics, medical neuroscience, mechanical engineering, mathematics, both PhD and masters, materials engineering, both masters and PhD, marine science, leisure studies, law, PhD and LMM, and the JD, that is the Juris Doctor, kinesiology, journalism, network, internetworking, international development studies, like a whole lot of programs, history, French, food science, fiction, environmental studies, environmental engineering, English, engineering, mathematics, electrical engineering, economics, earth science, digital innovation. Like they have a whole lot of programs. So if you're interested in any of the programs, just visit their website. So this is the graduate. When I come here, you see undergraduate as well. So undergraduate, once I scroll down, all the programs that they are going to list here are all what undergraduate programs. So as you can see, undergraduate, bachelors. So if you're interested in undergraduate too, and this arrow here, once you click on it, it will take you to the program website for you to look at the requirements and how to submit your application. So that is information about Dalhousie University website. Okay, so McGround, a quick one. In terms of my academic resume or my CV, we know it's also one important document that prospective applicants need to prepare. They require that. How should it be done? How should it be presented in order to convince the department that I have the necessary educational qualifications, the necessary research experience, the necessary volunteering and leadership experience, and other add-ons so that I'll be able to get admitted and I'll be able to get the funding? If you can touch on that as well.
Okay, so with your academic CV, usually it's a bit different from that of the resume that we use to apply for jobs. So with the academic one, basically, your educational background comes on top. Like they usually come first. Okay, so with your academic CV, first of all, people choose to write their career objective as the beginning. So with the first part, with the upper part, you write your name and some few details. You do some few details about you. Let's say your name, your email, your a link to your LinkedIn profile, um, and probably your phone number. Okay, you do not have to include date of
It, is it compulsory to have a LinkedIn profile if you want to do graduate school application, that is master's or a PhD? If you can touch on that before you continue.
I really encourage people to have LinkedIn profile because it's like kind of a professional platform that shows or exhibits your it's a form of it's like a CV. It's like your CV, but in a more like in a social context. It's a CV in a social context because you find most professors on LinkedIn. So I believe that once you're applying for graduate school, you should have a LinkedIn profile and you should keep it updated. Put every experience, every certification, everything you have done in your career, in your education, put it there. You should have a LinkedIn profile. Then in your CV, hyperlink it in your CV. Okay, so in your CV, you put your LinkedIn profile link on top. So your name first, boldly written, your email address, your LinkedIn profile link. and probably your phone number. You don't need to write your date of birth, your nationality, the country you are coming from. It is irrelevant. Do not even put your date of birth there, because when you're applying, they ask you all those details. So why do you need to put your date of birth and all those things in your CV? Even in job application in the US, you don't have to include your your date of birth and all that in your CV. They don't need it, and they don't want to be biased or like kind of racist. They don't want to be like that. So they only need your education about your experience and other relevant experiences or other skills. Your your year of birth or nationality is usually not important in the CV context in the Western side. I mean, US and Canada. You don't have to put your year of birth and nationality and all that in your CV. You don't need that. You remove it as soon as possible if you have it. Yeah, some people choose to put their career objective as the next thing, or others also choose to go in the direction of personal profile or your profile. If you put profile, do not write I am somebody with like I am so and so. I am a dedicated person with 15 years of experience in with 15 years of experience in the banking industry. I want I want to advance my skills in let's say financial technology, blah, blah. That is not profile. That is career objective. Profile, you should write a brief profile about yourself. Let's say you have had 10 years of teaching experience in special education, or you have 10 years of experience in special education, and you have a master's degree in so and so. Like, brief something about yourself, not what you want to do or what you are looking forward to do, because that one is career objective, what you want to achieve. So if you write the heading as career objective, make sure you write something that is in line with what you want to do. Okay. But if you write profile, you should write something brief about your profile. It should be like maximum of 4 lines. Maximum of 4 lines. I think like 2 to 3 lines, brief and concise about you. If you are putting profile or career objective, you should brief and concise. Then the next thing is education. Your education comes. So with your education, it has to be in a descending order. So the earliest first. So if you have a, let's say, a master's degree, you completed a master's degree in 2025 and you're applying for a PhD, your master's degree should be the one on top, the first one. Then your bachelor's follow. Then maybe your high school. So if you are going for, let's say, a PhD, just put your your master's first, then followed by your bachelor's. Finish. You don't need high school, because the requirement for you to apply for PhD is a bachelor's degree and probably a master's degree. If you're applying for master's degree, just put your bachelor's degree is fine, so that your CV will not be too lengthy, because a recommended CV should be like, the recommended number of pages is one, but usually two is fine. Two is usually fine. Do not make it too lengthy. Just try to make it simple, concise, and not too long. Then from your education, move to your experience, or probably your research experience. So if you're going to do a thesis-based program, maybe after education, you bring your research and teaching experience. Then you talk about that. Okay, you put your research or teaching experience there. Then you move to your other work experience. Then you move to your skills. Let's say maybe some soft skills or hard skills, or maybe some computer skills. Like maybe you know how to program. You are proficient with R programming, Python, MATLAB, SPSS, what have you, or Power BI, all those things. If you know, put them there. Okay, you put all those things there. Your volunteering experience, you can include that. Also uh with the CV, usually some people choose to put references there. If they're applying for, let's say, a master's or PhD program, they choose to put their references detailed there. Well, this is personally me. I personally, I do not put references in my CV. because I want to utilize the space efficiently. I want to limit myself to 2 pages. I don't want to exceed that. So I don't put references there because in the application portal, they ask you to um, list the names and addresses of your references. So I don't see, to me, I'm saying me because others put it there. I am not saying it is wrong. I'm not saying it is wrong, but from my experience, I don't put references in my CV. And I've seen two schools that gave me a sample of CV for school application. In the sample, there was no place like references, or it is just the second school that said references available on request. So you just write the heading references, then beneath it, a bullet point available on request. So you can choose to put it there or not. But personally, I don't put references in my academic CV.
Okay, so I've shared a sample here. If you can have a look at it and maybe use that to educate our listeners.
So this is an academic CV. So that
McBrown, I'm coming. If you cannot see, just zoom your screen or make it big, and it
yeah,
will be very clear. Just zoom and that's all. Continue, McBrown.
yeah. So this for this particular one, the individual did not bring career objective or personal profile. So just went straight the name, then address where the person is staying, and the email address and phone number. So you in this particular case, there is no nationality, there's no date of birth and what have you, or marital status. It is irrelevant. You don't have to include that. Then the next section is your education. So you see, this person did not put um, their high school in there because they don't need high school to apply for it. Advanced, and maybe this particular CV, the first one, the one on your left, this person is applying for a postdoctoral position. So the person has PhD already.
It's actually the same thing, a continuation of the like of the person's CV. So the two is just for one person. It's just a continuation.
So you see, it is 2 pages. You can say that person has a lot of experience, but limited themselves to only 2 pages. So with this, it's just from bachelor's, master's, and PhD. Finish. So the person is believing that the person is applying for a postdoctoral position. So they actually need a PhD to apply for a postdoctoral position. So with that, you list okay your highest degree, which is the PhD in where the person completed in 2016. Then the master's comes, then the bachelor's degree comes. No high school because it's not needed. You don't need high school for anything again. Um, then the professional experience, the person has engaged in research. So it was okay. Let's a researcher from 2011 to present. So current the person is a researcher. Then you list some of the things. You list your position, what you have been doing. So the person wrote investigated the effect of ultrasound on uptake and retentive of polar blah 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 blah. You put in there like that. So you put all your experience. The next one. So with your CV has to be the earliest, the recent one first, the one you uh, not the one you did earlier. So let's say if your current experience is a researcher, you don't have to put uh, researcher below. Okay, so there's a term they call it reverse chronological order and reverse chronological order. But for for English purposes, I'm not here to teach English, so just the most recent one first, then the rest follows. Okay, in that order. Then you go to your skills, then and then other relevant experience like volunteerism, other certifications, and all that. I think slide. Which one is this? Communication team. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you can go ahead now.
yeah. So the person's professional experience in that order, the most recent one, which is the research engineer from 2011, from 2010 to 2012. Then previous one 2006, June 2006 to June 2006, which was a design engineer. I think this one was an internship. So the person included all those things, then moved to other or additional relevant experience. So I'm believing that the other additional experience could be, let's say, volunteerism, or maybe other things you did whilst you were studying, like maybe whilst you were studying, you were also, let's say, a teaching assistant, or maybe you held position like gra- uh, graduate graduates, maybe public health graduate student president. You had a position like that. Okay, so those are additional experiences that are not, maybe not necessarily a full-time job, but then it is an experience. It is leadership role or something that you engage in that you believe it is relevant for what you are going to do. You put all those things, the extracurricular activities like volunteerism, um, yeah, basically we put volunteerism and all that in that section, extracurricular activities, or leadership experience, or maybe conferences you attended, seminars, papers you presented. All those things can be under extracurricular activities. Okay, publications, all those things can be there. Yeah, also have to list the skills you have, maybe other certifications. Maybe you have a certification in data engineering, or maybe you have a certification in supply chain management, or you have you have a certification, let's say, as a chartered accountant. You can put all those things there. So like with this one, skills and qualifications: Microsoft Office, internet programming ability in C++ and PHP. You put it there. Extensive knowledge of SPSSX, SAS. All those are statistical programming. Fluent in German, French, and Spanish. You put all those things there. Professional membership. So the person was part of Canadian Psychological Association. Those association also gives you some form of experience that can help you in maybe the graduate school or the job you are applying for. So let's limit ourselves to school application. So let's say you are part of as a registered public health nurse. You are part of them. You are a member. You can put all those things there as membership. Those things are all relevant for you. So put those things in your CV. Make it
I've shared another one. I've shared another one too. Maybe you can use that to also further explain again.
yes. I believe this one also is also going for postdoctoral position, because the person has PhD already, has PhD in English. So has bachelor's in English, master's in English, PhD in English. So start with the recent one first. Then the person has teaching and advising experience. So I believe that the person was in doing the master's degree. The person was teaching assistant. So they engaged in teaching and research experience. You put all those things there. You create a session for that. So instead of, let's say, putting under professional experience, you create a session like teaching and research experience. Then you put your teaching experience there, you put your research experience there, like the way this person has done. This person was engaged in teaching. Most of his or experience was in teaching. So it was a composition instructor, literature instructor, coordinating group instructor, discussion leader, teaching assistant. You can see this person engaged in all these things. So classify this under one area, research and teaching experience. Okay, so you can do yours like that. So I'm believing that this one is it okay? It's not one page CV, it's a two page. All right, so this person has research experience. So separated research from teaching. You can put the two together. Then the one that you are doing recently, you bring them on top. Okay, so this person was um did a lot of research. I think like was a research assistant for some time. So created a session for research assistantship position, and also as a research assistant, did some publication. So you create a session for publication, put all those things there. Conferences you attended, You put up conferences and let's say seminars and dissertation. You put all those things at one place. Awards. Those shows your academic ability because aside your transcript that let's say you have high GPA or probably have a low GPA, your extracurricular activities that you have engaged in, those things can help you gain admission because you might be having extensive research experience that teaching experience or professional experience that makes you a good candidate for the program you're applying for, whether a master's or PhD. List all those things, and for this person, you can see that person brought references there. Okay, so it is up to you to choose whether you want to add references or not. Personally, I don't put references there because I believe that I don't have to put it there. But for you, you can put it there. I'm not saying if you put references in your CV is wrong. I am not saying that. Personally, I don't put it there. So if you choose to put it there, make it nice. But first of all, you have to start with your education, your teaching and research experience, if you have any, then your professional experience, extracurricular activities, certifications, awards, membership, publications, conferences, all those things in that order. Okay, but first your education has to be on top because it is academic CV, not a professional resume. And there's exception to this one. If you're applying for an MBA is a professional program that mostly they require you to have relevant work experience. So for MBA program, it is I will encourage you to bring your professional experience first before your educational background comes. So if you're applying for MBA, let your professional experience come first, then followed by your education. Because usually when you check the application requirement for MBA, they usually say your resume, which means it's not an academic CV but a resume. So a resume should start with your professional experience first. So you bring your professional experience first. If you're applying for an MBA or maybe a professional program that usually they tell you to upload your resume, go in that direction. But then if you're saying academic CV or your CV or resume, which is not a professional program, but then either a course based or a thesis based program, bring your education first. For MBA and other highly professional programs, bring your professional experience first. Yeah.
Okay, so as our brother McBrown has done justice to um, how to prepare an educational resume, I've also projected some samples of resume. If you need these samples, you can just reach out to me on any of my platforms. I'll share a copy with you to use it as a guide to prepare your resume. Before we wrap up, there is a question here from Emmanuel. He's asking, my supervisor advised me that I state only experiences that relate to my profession, leading to the deletion of my community stroke voluntary engagements. Is this a strong CV for school application?
Yeah, supervisor, is it supervisor for the school you apply to or supervisor at workplace or which supervisor are you talking about? Because with your supervisor, I don't know whether it is a professor in the school you are applying to that says you should remove or you should bring the ones that are relevant for the program because it's kind of a little bit ambiguous. But then if you're applying for a program and your work experience doesn't really relate to the program, or maybe you have, let's say, 10-year experience, you have 10 years of work experience in different fields, I think you should bring the ones that are relevant to the program first. Okay, the ones that qualify for the program. I'm not saying delete everything, but then some of them they are very unrelated. You cannot relate it to the program. Okay, but then if those ones are, let's say, your first or your entry level work experience, leave it there because they are entry level. The most recent ones are the ones that usually they look out for. Okay, so if the most recent ones can be related to the program, I think you should keep it there. If the most recent one is not related to the program, in your statement of purpose, you can highlight why you are still fit for the program because probably your previous experience has given you some I mean, your previous experience can give you a leverage for you to do well on the program. Okay, that is why there's statement of purpose because aside your CV, your statement of purpose actually goes into detail, and look at how best you are or how fit you are for the program. So it is your statement of purpose that you have to make it very compelling why you believe that um you are fit for the program. So the person says, Mike, project work supervisor. So if he is saying that, well, I won't debunk, or I wouldn't say totally remove everything, but then you can maintain some, okay, or you can put it as extracurricular activity. Then you stick to the most recent ones that are relevant for the program, okay. And in your statements of purpose, like write it well how you fit for the program because every experience counts. You might not know how those experiences might help you on the program. So I will not encourage you to delete everything, but then in your statement of purpose, show why those experiences qualify you for the program.
Okay, so Kwachi, as Shealtiel has advised, I don't know why he's asking you to take out the community and voluntary engagement, but I'll only agree with him if what you listed, as Mark Brown mentioned, is not related to whatever program you're applying for. For example, let's say you're applying for an education related program. Then you go and list community stroke voluntary engagement. Let's say, for example, I thought I you did certain things, certain voluntary engagements which are not related to the educational field or which is not related to the program you're applying. It wouldn't make sense. For example, let's say you're applying for a master's in education, then under the voluntary um listen the under the voluntary option, you go and state that I maybe taught 10 students music lessons. Yes, even though he's teaching, but how is it related to this master's in education program you're applying for? Assuming you're applying for a music program, it makes sense to include it there. So if he has read through and he feels that the community stroke voluntary engagement you are talking about are not directly related, then there is a problem. You have to take it off. So, for example, if let's say the community engagement involves you, let's say, going to a remote area to teach people or number of students, let's say the subject mathematics, basic arithmetic and calculations, it is it is something which is related. And if you're applying for a program in, let's say, mathematics education, I see no reason why you take it off because it is something voluntary that you have done, which is related to the program that you are applying for. So there is no way I'll say you should take that off. But if it's something which is not related to the program, then we have um, a concern with that. But once it's related, that voluntary engagement, that community engagement is related to the program. Those are things that will even speak for you. Those are things that will even help you because honestly, in these countries, they love people who volunteer. They love people who engage in voluntary staffs. So once you include those things and it is related to the program you're applying for, then it makes sense. But if it's not related, I advise you that don't delete it, but rather reframe it or put something which is related, which will help you because the session in your CV, community stroke voluntary engagement, is also very, very important because it's going to help you, it's going to speak for you because these people they value volunteers, they value people who engage in these community services for free. So once you come here and you engage in these voluntary staffs, even it can help you land your first job. through volunteerism. It will shock you that you will come here, whatever job you've applied for, maybe you don't have the experience, but when you came in, you've gone to like volunteer with a particular organization which is not even kind of related. But once they hear, oh, this person has volunteered with this organization, this person has volunteered with that organization, and you do well during the interview, in fact, you are going to get a job offer because they really value volunteerism here. If you are doing something voluntary, community works, community engagement is something which is very, very, very valued. So please ensure that you state the ones that are related to the program you are applying for. In that case, you don't have to take it off. So I don't know if we've done justice to your question. Okay, so background. Let's come to um, some two other things before we close the session for tonight. Even though we plan for about 2 hours, we're almost doing 3 hours. So let's just finish so that we can wrap up. Talking about the recommendation letters, how can one be able to secure recommendation letters on time? And how can one ensure that the recommendation letter that is secured or that is being submitted on behalf of him or her is a recommendation that makes the cut for the graduate school and for the departmental requirement? If you can touch on that.
Recommendation is is something. How should I even say? You have an advantage if you are in school now. Okay, so if you are in school now, I will encourage you to build cordial relationship with your professors. Okay, talk to them, let them know you, because if they don't know you, what are they going to write in that letter? Okay, and sometimes some of the schools, if you are submitting or some programs, if you are submitting a recommendation, usually they don't even ask you to write a letter. You answer certain questions, specific questions. Let me give you an example. An example is like an example will be the MBA for usually MBA programs. Sometimes MBA programs like MBA at the school is even University of Manitoba MBA, where their recommendation they ask specific question and they ask the recommender to write specific question and answer specific questions. Like specific questions, they write some paragraph for you. Some of them they choose whether they strongly agree or strongly disagree. Okay, so if they don't know you, how are they going to write those things for you? So it is best. So if you're in school, it is best you establish cordial relationship with them, know them, work with them. I mean, work with them so that they know you. Well, because when you leave school, other students will come in, and they are likely to forget you. If they forget you, that is wahala for you. So if you leave school, do not forget them. Keep in touch with them. However, if you have completed school for some time now, I will encourage you to go back to your school, talk to them personally. That hey, this, and that. You taught me this particular course, and what like talk to them. Tell them, okay, you want to apply to this particular school. Okay, I took your course and I had this. Give them your CV, give them your transcript because they might not have access to your maybe they may not have access to your transcript. Okay, they may not have access to your transcript at the moment. Give them your transcript, give them your CV, talk to them, check up on them, tell them, okay, you want to apply to this school and you really need their help. You really need their help in writing a recommendation for you. If they agree and submit even one recommendation for you, do do not forget them. Keep in touch. Even if you travel to the school, please keep in touch with them because one day you apply for federal program or you apply for something or a job and they will ask you to provide one recommender. You realize that you have done yourself more harm than good because if they write for you and you don't reach out to them again, it's like you have gotten what you want and now you don't need them again. Now, later in life, you need them again, you are contacting them, they will not mind you. They are human beings. They are human beings. So at least keep in touch. If you're out of school for some time now, go to the office personally. talk to them, have a conversation with them. Okay, have a conversation with them. Like, buy gift for them. Okay, buy gift for them as a form of appreciation. If they write recommendation for you, you can appreciate them by maybe buying a gift, and it's okay. Here it's also and so professor. Like, you have been a good person to me, blah blah blah. And on this, I would like to give you this, or probably on their birthday, you can buy a nice gift and give it to them as their birthday gift. Okay, build relationship with them, because if you leave school, other students will come. Other students might establish that cordial relationship with them, and they might forget you. Unless if you are somebody who did not uh, talk to any of them, or you just went to class, you study, pass, and you did not talk to, you did not establish any friendship with any of your professors, then you have a problem. But I'll still encourage you to go to your school, go to the professors you want them to write the recommendation for you. Start talking to them. Go to their office. Don't call them on phone or WhatsApp them that I want you to do this. No, go to them in person. Okay. Unless maybe the situation demands you to maybe call them on phone. Let's say maybe the professor is in Nigeria and maybe you are in Ethiopia or you are in India. In that case, you will not be able to travel all the way to Nigeria to see that particular professor, or to Ghana to see that particular professor. So you'd have to contact them or send them an email. Okay. And you have to be patient with them because they are also busy attending to other stuffs. Right. So be patient with them and talk to them on a good note, establish relationship. When they are done with the recommendation, please keep in touch with them. For University of Manitoba and other schools, their recommendation, they will ask you specific questions. Not the University of Manitoba only. Some schools and certain programs, they will ask you to write. They will ask the recommender to write some paragraphs for you, some questions maybe about your academic ability, or probably maybe at a time how they see maybe your research experience, how would they evaluate your research experience, all those things, or all those things. Sometimes it helps them to actually get a sense of who the person they want to admit is. Will the person be a good fit for the program? So they want to know that. So it's sometimes not just the professor writing a letter then submitting it to the department. Some schools do not even ask them to submit a letter, but then we type everything in their system, in the system, and on the website of the school. Okay, so an example is what I gave to you. University of Manitoba, I think, is it Harvard, either Harvard or this school, Harvard or Harvard or Yale, one of them, those Ivy League schools in the US. Some of them, they don't ask you to even submit a letter. They will ask you specific questions. Okay, so it is best to establish relationship with them for them to know you. Even if they have forgotten your academic ability, send them your CV. Send them your CV, your transcript, and even indicate to them the courses that they taught you. Okay, so that they know that, let's say if you had that course, let's say a B plus, you know, oh, okay, this student was a good student in my class, so they will know what to write. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Matt Brown. Elisha, you are welcome to the TDN. If you have a question, you can just unmute yourself and go ahead and ask your question, please.
Thank you, Della. I'm grateful. Uh, Please, I want to ask how payment of service fee is done. Already, I'm in the US, but I've not done it before. A friend is making a request that I should pay for him. So, if you assist me on how to make payment of service fee, yeah, that is my question.
Okay. Yeah, Shealtiel, over to you. He said he's in the US. A friend needs an assistance on how to pay service fee. He has not done it before, even though he's in the US. So he wants you to help him with how he can go about it. He's listening to us.
First of all, what I would say is I am not in the US, and I've not made the payment for someone before. But first, the first thing the person has to do is to generate a coupon on the service website and send it to you. So if the person send it to you, you take that coupon and the money to Western Union in the US, the one closest to you. Okay, you can go to Western Union, and Western Union, uh, per my information, I know they charge $9.90, so it's almost like $10 for the service for their service charge. So they will let the person add those charges to it for you. If they have increased the fee, then I don't know as of now. But previously they were charging $9.90 for the service they are rendering to you. So you take the coupon that the person will generate, let the person send it to you. Uh, Print the
Yeah,
coupon.
the person have done all that. Okay, so the question is, I went there personally, I think on um Tuesday, right? So when I was inputting the details, there was some information I wasn't so sure whether it's supposed to be my information or it's supposed to be his information. For example, I got to a place where they were asking about personal information and then phone number. I tried using his phone number, it didn't work.
You
I
have
have
to
to put in I tried using his phone number, it didn't work. So I have to put in my US number before it worked. And then some, yeah, so those are the challenges that I was facing when I was doing it.
so when you go to Western Union, so those details, they are for you, the one paying on his behalf, because Ghana or whichever country they are. So you have to put in your details. So you are paying on the person's behalf, but then the receipt that they will get, your name will not appear in there. It is the one who is paying on the person's behalf that you have to that has to put their information there. So you put your information there, then you enter the other details that is on the service coupon. Then you give it to them and they process it for you. Okay, so it is your details
Okay.
that not his, because when you if you enter the person's details, it will not work. It is you, the one paying it, that has to um, enter your details. Okay.
All right. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Elisha. So I'm taking you off now.
All right.
Okay, so as our brother Mark Brown touched on the recommendation issues, if you are facing similar challenge, just adhere to the advice. So if you can see my screen now, I've just displayed the MBA program, that is the Masters in Business Administration at the University of Manitoba. So if you're interested in applying to this program, you can just look at it, and the total program fees, international student on study permit is 57,800 Canadian dollars. So if you can get it, if you can get the money and pay, I think they give entrance scholarship. Aside that, I don't know if they have like additional scholarships or not, but they give entrance scholarship. And there is an option for you to also go in for an Empower loan, but it's not for free. After school, you would surely have to pay back the loan. So an MBA is also a professional program. It's actually a good program here. So if it's something you're interested in, you can go to their website and double check. The admission requirement is a 3-year bachelor's degree with a minimum GPA of 3.0 on a 4.5 scale in the last credit hours or 2 years of study. They said GPA of minimum of 2.5 may also be considered in some circumstances. Then they have international student GPA calculation. When you click here, you can do your GPA calculation to know if it meets the requirement for the MBA department. And they said 2 years of full-time work experience is typically required. Then GRE or GMAT. But then I think the GRE or GMAT, when you meet some qualifications, it is actually waived for you. So let's look at the GMAT exemption based on GPA. So high GPA applicants may be eligible for entry via an alternative assessment process if you have an admission GPA of 3.3 or above in the last 60 credit hours or 2 years of study, you may consider this alternative assessment path, which consists of a skill assessment or GMAX business fundamentals. So that is one way by which you can get a waiver for the GRE or the GMAT. Then we have GMAT exemption for CPA, CFA, and PENG designation. Then GMAT exemption for people who attended the ASPA Bachelor of Commerce graduates, that is University of Manitoba. The GMAT exemptions for University of Manitoba graduates. So the GMAT exemption that will be applicable for most international students will either be the first one or maybe the second one if you have other qualifications. So how to apply? The program is on rolling basis throughout the year for fall, that is August or winter in January. But looking at the timeline now, okay, I think you can still apply. Let me look at the deadline. Okay, so the deadline for winter is March 30th. So it's due. You can apply for winter next year, but you can apply for fall next year because the deadline is February 28th. Next year, February 28th. So if you want to apply for the MBA for that is next year, September, February 28th. Application fee is non-refundable. You upload your unofficial transcript because it's accepted. You enter the names and emails of two individuals whom you have worked for professionally. They will be contacted directly to complete a provided reference questionnaire about you. They'll give you and you also submit your resume, your GMAT or GRE score report. But there is actually a waiver if you meet certain requirements. I'll let Mark Brown touch on that because I know he was admitted into that program as well, but he decided not to go based on one or two reasons. Then proof of English proficiency. But once you are from an English speaking country, I believe you have a waiver because I'm also here currently doing my master's at the University of Manitoba and I didn't submit an English language test. So I've just come to the exemption for countries. So I'm highlighting, as you can see, this Ghana. Where my mouse pointer is, you can see that Ghana is written there. So you don't need an English language test. Then what again? Let's see. Yeah, then if you are using an agent, the agent has to fill the FIPA for agent form, but then you can virtually do everything yourself. And remember, the deadlines, we have two different types. This is the Canadian and US applicant, and this is the international applicant. So those who are not in Canada, or those who are not Canadians or US citizens or green card holders, that means you are going to be an international applicant, and this deadline will apply to you. Brown, how will one get a waiver for the GMAT or GRE in case they're interested in the MBA program at the University of Manitoba?
So the GMAT with they said if you have a bachelor's degree with a GPA of 3.0 on 4.5 scale, yeah, you actually meet the waiver request. So in filling your application, if you click on apply and you are filling the application, they will ask you a question about the GMAT. Then you choose that you meet the exemption, that you have a GP of 3.0 on a 4.50 scale. So they use 4.50 scale. So basically, if you have let's say if your GPA is on a 4.0 scale, I think approximately if you have 2.9, 3.0, you meet the requirement for a GMAT or GRE waiver. Okay, so in your application portal, you choose just that, and they will evaluate it. You'll do pre-evaluation, and they will assess whether it is actually true that you meet that requirement. Then they will waive it for you and give you a form. They will give you an online exams for you to write. It's about like 5 questions, 5 solid questions based as English and mathematics, like logic and mathematics question that they are going to ask you. So if you get it right, you will not actually see your answers. But then if you pass it, um, they will just go ahead and evaluate your entire application and give you the admission if you deserve it. But then, if even if your GPA, overall GPA is 2.8 or 2.7, and let's say in your last 2 years, let's say in your third and final year, you had um more B pluses or A's, or let's say in your third and final year combined, you had a GPA of, let's say, above 3.0 on 4.0 scale, you still meet the GMAT requirement, because they said in your last 2 years or in your last undergraduate years, so which is your third and final year, okay, even if your overall GPA is 2.8 or 2.7, you can meet the requirements. If your third and final year you had a strong GPA, if you do your calculation and have your a strong GPA over there, you made the requirement. Just in your application, choose you made the exemption for 3.0 on 4.50 scale, blah, blah, blah. They will evaluate it, and um, they'll give you an option where you would have to choose whether to write a GMAT assessment test or which is paid. But then if you choose the option that they set the questions for you, that one is not paid. They will set the questions and you choose a date that you want to write. Then you just write. It's online. It's an online exam. It's a self-recorded one. So they'll ask you a couple of questions, like about 5 or 6 questions. Some of them you would have to solve and maybe present it, show it to the camera. There's time attached to it. Or even if you can't, even if it's not visible, explain it. Like explain your answer. Or the essay questions, maybe they'll give you a situational question, then you press on record, you record your answer and submit. Okay, there's time attached to it. That's how you can get your GMAT waiver. And if you have a good GPA, you get an entrance scholarship from the graduate school.
Okay, Mark Brown. So aside the entrance scholarship, do you know the value? And also, are there other additional funding options one can explore, looking at the amount of fees they are charging for the professional program, that's the MBA?
Usually, I think it's usually around 6,000 to 12,000, 6,000 to 12,000, depending. But usually you usually give 6,000 or 8,000 to most students. Okay, so just expect something around $6,000 per year. Okay, so they'll give you the entrance scholarship. If you meet the requirement, there are other scholarship as well, but usually, you have to get to campus before you can apply for those scholarship. Okay, those are outside scholarship, outside the graduate school. Yeah, they have department specific scholarship. They have uh, other organizational scholarship or case competition scholarships that you can apply to. But usually, you have to be on campus. The ones that you get off campus is the one offered by the graduate school, which is GPA based. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for that clarification. Please, we'll be wrapping up in about 8 minutes time. So if you have a question to ask, just leave it in the comment section and I'll display it. Or if you want to join us live, just look for the StreamYard link on any of our platforms and join us live for the discussion to ask your question. So I'm just on Manitoba websites now, the graduate programs. So if you can see, these are some of the programs that we have there. I've shared my screen. We have agribusiness and agricultural economics. And let me tell you one secret about this program. This program, when you get in, you enjoy. It's fully funded. They'll give you stipend. You will not pay any fees at all. I have a couple of friends from Ghana who are in this program. So check the requirements. If you have a qualification in this field or this area, I advise that you check it out. Admissions are currently open also. I can double check for you. Agriculture and agri-economics. When we come to the website, it's a 2-year program, and the program options are agri-economics, agribusiness, and environmental and resource economics. It's under the Faculty of Agriculture and Food Sciences. So they have what? The thesis option, they have the coursework option, and they have the comprehensive option. If you don't qualify for the master's too, we have what we call the pre-masters. It's a 1-year program. You get into the pre-masters, but that one will not be funded. It's self-funded. And after you are done with the pre-masters, you can now apply for the masters, which is funded. Then this is the admission requirement. One, to be considered for admission to the MSc Agribusiness and Agricultural Economics program. One, you must have a BSc in Agribusiness or a 4-year bachelor's degree or equivalent in economics. Sometimes they also accept a 3-year degree, so you can email the department about that if you have a 3-year degree, which is strong. How to apply? So the deadline, they have even two entries. Winter, the deadline was March 15th, it's over already. So you can apply for winter now. But you can apply for fall, which is September, and the deadline is January 8th. So the application fee, then unofficial copies of transcript, two letters of recommendation must be requested from within the application, biographical sketch, graduate record examination, that's the GRE, but it is optional. It is not compulsory at all. It is optional. As you can see, optional written here. All students graduating from university outside of North America are strongly advised to take the GRE, but it is optional. The people that I know who have gotten into this program, they didn't actually write the GRE. So let's take note of that. But if you can, I'll strongly advise that you go in for it. Then they have the animal science, they have the anthropology, we have the applied science, applied health science, applied human nutrition. Nutrition is also funded. You can check it out. Architecture, art and architectural history, biochemistry and medical genetics, biological science, biomedical engineering, biosystems engineering, business administration, that's the MBA, chemistry, city planning, civil engineering, classics, collaborative PhD, community health sciences, computer science, masters and PhD, curriculum teaching and learning, design and planning, disability studies. I'm actually studying this program. That is the MA. That's the masters in disability studies. So if you have something related to like special education or education and you want to try, you can actually apply for the MA. If you have a BSc, that is when you can apply for the MSc. If you have a Bachelor of Science in a related field, you can apply for the MSc. But if you don't have a BSc, but you have a bachelor's like a BA, a BEd, or any other bachelor's, you can apply for the MA. And if you maybe want assistance or advice on how to put in a good application, a competitive one, I'm always available to advise because I'm taking this program currently. Then we have the earth sciences, we have the economics, we have education, education administration, foundations, and psychology, which is very, very competitive to get in. But I have a couple of Ghanaian friends who are also in that department. Electrical and computer engineering, English, both masters and PhD, entomology, environment and geography, um, finance, food science, French, genetic counseling, geography, graduate focus in disability studies, history. History too is hugely funded. The master's in history and PhD is also hugely funded. So if you're interested, you can look at it as well. Human anatomy and cell science, human nutritional sciences, human rights, immunology, indigenous art, interior design, Juris Doctor and MBA, kinosology and recreation management, landscape architecture, laws, linguistic, management, mathematics, mechanical engineering, medical microbiology and infectious diseases, medicine, micro diploma in science communication, microbiology, music research, natural resource and environmental management, nurse practitioner, and they also, I think they also have a master's in nursing also. So please, these are the programs we have there. If you're interested in any, you can just check it out. Most of the application period for fall is currently opened. You can just check it out, and if you meet the requirement, you submit a competitive application. Shito, I want you to come in and give us your closing remarks, maybe an advice for prospective applicants, so that we can wrap up our session for tonight.
So as usual, always start early. Like I said, start early. Organize your documents and try to work on your application very early because the entire process takes longer time, and try to put in a good application, because the more you put in the good work, the higher your chances of getting a better result. It's like garbage in, garbage out. So put in the good work and expect a positive outcome, because hard work and perseverance are the vital ingredients to success in the sphere of every human endeavor. Yeah.
Thank you very much, my brother McBrown. I'm going to take you off now, and I really appreciate you for making time to spend 3 hours with us. And I would love to see you once again next week as we have this session. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm grateful for all my followers and I'm grateful to all my followers and listeners who spent time to join us for this discussion. It's not over as we've been doing always. Every Wednesday at 7 p.m. GMT, you join us at wherever you are. Make time and join us. We discuss school applications, visa applications, international student life, how to get funding, assistantships, like every question at all. You join us and ask your question, or you leave your question in the comment section and we'll respond to it. Tomorrow, I'm bringing you another session. Let me just display the flyer. That is my daily Thursday sessions. So I'm bringing you this session. That is a friend and a brother once again who is in the UK currently. Canada rejected him, I think, about 2 or 3 times. He actually applied for the Canadian study permit. He was denied for, I think, about 2 or 3 times. And he gave UK a shot just once, and UK visa got approved. He's currently taking his master's at, let me see, let me just hide this. He's taking his master's at the University of West England, and he's taking a master's in engineering management. So tomorrow at 7 p.m. GMT, catch me live for this particular discussion. And please, before I sign out, if you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, I'll be very, very grateful if you can just spend some few seconds to hit on the subscribe button for me, and also share the link and share this, because tomorrow's discussion is going to be mind blowing. Because Canada denied him twice, or I think 3 times or so, but he applied for UK and once he got it. No agent, he actually did everything himself. So if you want to learn about the UK process, try and join us tomorrow at 7 p.m. sharp so that we have this discussion. Do have a lovely day, and I love you all. Bye bye.